Hey there, Rad the Car Guy here, and today we start digging into the Titan. We're going to start taking my newly rebuilt engine out of my Titan to get into our Xterra. This video is part of a much bigger series, the VK Swap series, so if you're interested in going back and starting from the beginning, check out the upper right-hand corner of the screen where you can find the playlist. Now, I searched for quite a long time for another donor vehicle because honestly, I really love this truck. It's super rough around the edges. The paint is absolute garbage. It's starting to rust, but I don't even care. I put so much time and effort into this thing to get it running as well as it is today. And it's kind of sad to rip its heart out. That's okay. All my searching really didn't come up with anything. And honestly, I don't really have space for yet another disabled vehicle in my driveway. Now, before you get started on pulling an engine, there's 3 things that you want to do. You want to, of course, go and get the AC refrigerant removed while it's still operational. And I went to an auto shop for that. I just had them reclaim it, take it out, and they can, do with it whatever they want. Next up is depressurizing the fuel system. And that's simple. You just pull the fuse for the fuel pump, start the truck, and let it run till it dies. And lastly, you want to make sure your windows are up this time, and then go ahead and take out your battery. So we won't be gassing refrigerant in the atmosphere. We're not going to get a face full of fuel when we disconnect fuel lines, and we're not going to shock ourselves with electricity. All right, referencing our little map here, it says fuel pump is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And grab some needle nose and yank that sucker out. All right, let's just start it up, let it run until it dies. Should be really fast. Well, that was quick. It didn't even start, so probably means it's not really holding much pressure, but that's okay. I'm just gonna throw that fuse directly back in so that way we don't lose track of it. Next, disconnect our negative battery cable first, then our positive. And it just occurred to me, I never strapped this battery down. Well, that'll make it nice and easy. Pull it out. I am gonna pull the hood again, just like I did on the Xterra. That's 12 millimeters. And I'm going to just loosen these a little bit, basically break them loose. It's nice taking all these bolts off that have already been off. Pulling these off is pretty easy. Just grab a flathead screwdriver. I like to go in the corner right here where you can actually see a little gap, and then it'll pull off the side. Oh, there we go. And then same thing up here. Just throw a screwdriver in it and pull it off. There you go. If they'll push up, that's nice. If they're new, one should hold it up. There we go. Good luck if they're older though. We'll just gently set this down, grab a block of wood to jam this lock, and then we take the nuts off the back. Pulling the back ones off first, so I don't have to lift it as high. And I'm gonna flip that up, and then I can get my hands in there. Still support it with one of your hands, because if it drops, you'll be in a world of hurt. Now I'm gonna set this down and then just gently lift it. It's actually a smaller hood than the Xterra. And I'll probably just put this in the bed, honestly. There we go, all right. Like always, when you have the opportunity, throw the nut back on these studs so you don't lose them. I just threw it in the bed because we're gonna throw it back on when it has to go sit in my driveway for, I don't know, 10 months. Next up is the cowl. And again, take a little flathead and you should be able to pop that off. And these those actually look like 14s. Let me grab 14 and try that. Yep, just pop those wiper arms off. Be sure to do that to both and then set them aside. Once the nut's off, you should be able to give it the old wiggle, perfect. And then slap the nut back on. Now, if I recall, most of this pops off. You want to go a little easy because your spouts are in here, your windshield washer spouts. So you're going to have some water connections there. And it's in 2 pieces. So you will have to split this off, which mine is literally falling off anyways, like I'm sure most are. There you go, cool. I'm using a plastic body panel remover. Actually, let me try my hands first. Yeah. Okay, that's easier. Never mind. Excellent. Easy enough. It's disconnecting on the cowl side, not the cowl cover, but who cares? Same on the other side here. Wow, this thing was barely installed. Who the hell did this work? What a slob. Disconnecting the spouts is crazy easy. You just literally pull on them and they'll come right off. On this side, you have the hose come through the cowl and oh, well, this is already broken. Oh, it's shattered in there. Very cool. Well, it goes through the cowl and then you can slide it back through here and then just disconnect it from the other one here. And once you disconnect your other spout, this can just stay with the cowl. Electronics for the wiper motor are nice and simple. Just have a standard clip here. Take that off. And then you have 2 retaining clips holding it in here. And then this can just be pushed through the cowl and you can drag it back. Now we just gotta unbolt everything. Looks like the top of these 2 can be unbolted. You don't have to pull these off. Another 2 here, another 2 over there. and then probably a whole slew of them behind. Yeah, 2, 4, looks like another 4. Looks like they're all gonna be 10 millimeter. I'm gonna yank the whole wiper motor. There we go, just a couple extra bolts. All right, I'm trying to remember. I know that we have to pull this off and let it sit because that's the ridiculous thing that breaks on all the Titans, the stupid control to let coolant flow through the heater core. And this as well, this is just a little brace for one of the AC lines. But then I think that's it. Also 10 millimeter, but those sit on studs. So we're just gonna basically pull those back and put the nuts back on the studs. There is clips in the back of these vents, or these drains, if you will, that I genuinely don't know how you're supposed to get to them. Last time I literally just yanked this out and then, you know, kind of fixed them after the fact. So that's my game plan. There we go. And that's broken somewhere. Yeah, there we go. That stupid thing. Clips are on the back of this. I don't know how the heck you're supposed to get it out. There we go, pull that away. I always love pulling the hood and cowl off the Titan because it makes it feel like you've got a lot done, but you've really just done 2 things. But next up, let's start emptying the antifreeze. I want to get that done because I am actually going to reclaim it. I bought it new, like, I don't know, less than a year ago, maybe a little more than a year ago. And that stuff's not cheap. So I'm going to reclaim that, get that done, and then we'll keep moving forward. To gain access to the radiator, we need to get the lower sort of skid plate or engine compartment protector off. That should just be a couple 10 millimeter bolts, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, I believe. Yep, 2 up here. Oh yeah, little wrist breaker. Oh, well, broke one of the bolts. Very cool. Not really worried about it right now, are we? And this will sort of rest on the bottom of the bumper, which is kind of nice. And then drop the 2 in the rear. And then this one is already broken before, but I already repaired it with a riv nut. And now if you just slide it forward, it should slide off the back studs. And then there you go. Well, this is kind of interesting. That appears to be, what color is that? Ugh, I can't tell right now. Some fluid leak in here, probably steering. All right, we're grabbing our nice, clean, low profile tub, putting that underneath. And then we just gotta turn that little valve in the bottom and let it start leaking. It's right here. If we turn that, which I don't know why I thought I could do it with my fingers. That is a 19. Get that on there, come on. There we go. Make sure to get a bunch on your face. I'm gonna go grab some paper towel because it's gonna get everywhere. And I hate the smell of it, honestly. And then just pop your radiator cap to help it go a little faster. There you go. We're just gonna let that drain for a little bit and I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I all of a sudden have the urge to pee. All right, that's finally finished. So we're just gonna do a kind of a while we're at it thing. I'm just gonna pull the lower radiator hose because if I remember, it's gonna hold just a little bit of antifreeze in it. So I'm just gonna tighten this back up to close it. Then just slide this over and pull this guy off. Well, a little bit more than the Xterra. Sure glad I did this. All right, I'm gonna go clean off my arm. Now I'm gonna yank the upper radiator hose and the overflow, and we can kind of forget about cooling for now. This one should be far less dramatic. And the overflow, I'm not gonna take off the radiator side because as you can see, I had to do some repairs here and I really just don't wanna tempt fate on that. In fact, I may not even use this radiator, right? But regardless, I just don't wanna wreck that in case I have to. So I'm gonna pull it off of the overflow tank side. Wait a second, this is also mounted to the radiator support. So I actually wanna take off this hose down here. I'll show you here. You can pull it off from either side. I'm gonna pull it off from the engine side only so we can kind of direct the hose down into the drip pan. So I'm just gonna slide that to the left, make sure it's underneath, and minimize our mess. If some comes out, I mean, we'll just kind of have to deal with it. But also, if you just get the hose up, then whatever's in the reservoir won't spill everywhere. Oh, that's not loose enough. That should be loose enough now. But I'm gonna take this hose, kind of plop it up here, and I'm gonna strap it around the actual tank and plug it. I wanted to get that taken care of because I wanted to make sure that any fluids that we're going to retain, I want to kind of get them, put them away, set them aside. And now let's start taking off the front end because eventually this radiator support needs to come out. All right, popping off the grill. You have these little diamond-shaped little screws. They're plastic. There's 4 at the top. Just pop those off. Next up, you'll see here, we have the headlight here, grill here. And then there's this little clip back here that's at the top. It looks like you're supposed to push on this, but if you push on the top down, it pops right out. There's another set of those just a couple inches down from the top ones, and then another 3 on the bottom. So the second ones, when I pull on those, yeah, they'll come out. I just kind of yank on it and hope that I don't break it. And then the ones down below, you'll actually just grab a little tiny screwdriver, and if you push down on that, that should come right out. Slide down. There you go. Go set that aside. Next up, headlamps. So actually quite a great design. You have one connector here that connects all of the lights inside of the lamp. Pinch that like a regular connector, and then take it out. And all of the lights are now disconnected. You're gonna have 2 7mm here, another 7 below, and then a 10 below. Now you're looking through the front of the radiator support and the back of the headlight. Underneath, that's where one of the 7mm are. Just slide your hand up there and pop it off. Our last one for the headlight, and the one I would probably consider the most annoying, is back here, and you have a little 10mm one right there. Pop that bad lad off, and the headlamp will come right out. Slide it this way, like along the line to the fender. There we go. Now, I've never taken the bumper off of a Titan, so we're gonna learn together. There's some obvious ones. There's 2 right here, and of course 2 on the other side. And there's one right below these 2 on the bottom. And honestly, I can't really find any other connection points. So I guess we just remove those 6 and try to pull. Appear to be 12s, and I'm pulling out the big guns here. Make it easy on us. The bottom ones are right behind your tow hooks. So just get it on there. Holy rust falling everywhere. All right, let's try giving it a little tug. Oh, the support bars on the bottom. Forgot about those. Not sure what I was thinking. There's 2 large support bars that hold out these wings, because these are kind of cantilevered. These are like just supported with nothing but this one little bar underneath. And we need to disconnect our fog lights. Let's do that and then try again. The fog lights are crazy simple. You just have this little connector here. It has a tab on the back, this kind of tab right there. Just pull that away and that's it. And then this support bar here we have to remove. I'm gonna bank on these being another couple 12mm, and I'm gonna pull the support bar from the truck side. I don't think it matters, but I'm pulling them that way, and then do the same on the other side. Now this bad lad should slide right out, or we hope, right? Maybe we were supposed to take the top off first, because it's got these little tabs here. Let's try that. Yeah. And then lower it, because I left the arms on it. All right. Oh, cripes. That thing's heavy. With that off, let's start taking the electronics off. So I want to start pulling all this wiring back. It's really just finding a connector, popping it off, and then pulling the harness back. So I'm going to grab my various connector pulling gear. And of course, the first one I try is something weird. What is this? Well, I mean, I know it's the horn, but like what's going on with the connector? There we go. Looks like you have to pull the red piece out first. I'm not sure why that matters so much, considering it's just the horn. And then push down? What are we doing here? Wow, that was really stupid. There's a red lock you have to push back, and then you can push down on this and pull it out. Then what I think is our AC pressure sensor. There you go, pull that off. And then on this side, I believe, let's take a look. Yeah, I think that's it. The rest is just little clips that are holding it in. So you just want to pinch those and pull them all out. These are the ones that I always lose patience with and then end up breaking most of them. But if you follow that back all the way over to near the wheel, just keep doing that and then it'll be free. Just gotta feed that through there. Gosh, they don't give me much room. There we go. That one's free. The other side seems to have a bit more. We have, again, what I think is our airbag sensor. This one I'm just gonna peel back and see if I can see what I need. Looks like it might be on the bottom here. I just did this like a couple weeks ago and I already forgot how to do it. Okay, well, just like on the Xterra, I lost my patience and now I'm just gonna pull the whole thing off. So it looks like on the bottom, for some reason, there's a little clip they need to pry up. There. My God, that's annoying. All right, I'll put this back on. All right, some others here. These are easy, you just push them with your finger. Same with this fan, awesome. And then start pulling all your little retaining clips off. This is making for a lot of fun here. I kind of have to go up. There we go. And now it's only attached to the body. Now all we should have left to do before we can get this thing off is hood latch, AC lines, power steering lines, transmission cooler lines. Once those 3 things are off, I think we're ready to rock. Yeah, I think that's right. Let's start with power steering because it looks like it's going to be the easiest. It's right here. So grab your non-oil drain pan, throw it underneath here. Just grab needle nose and slide those off. I love that they're both just right here, connected together, side by side. Makes it nice and easy for us. There we go. Come on. There, perfect. Hey, I actually got it. How about that? I actually didn't spill any of it. So I'm gonna let that drain. I popped the top off the power steering reservoir. Try to let it drain as much as it can. All right, that's drained enough. I'm gonna yank the other one. I don't anticipate much coming out. Woo! All right, more's coming out. Now I'm gonna protect these. I'm gonna put a bag over them. And these I'm gonna plug. I already have way too much of this stuff on my driveway. I am going to go down and make another mess with the transmission cooler lines. Now I bypassed the cooler that's integrated with the radiator because I think it's the stupidest thing on the planet. Also, when I had my transmission open, I found antifreeze in it. So you will have slightly different configuration if you have not bypassed, but I'm gonna take them off at the engine anyways. There's one connection here and one here. Hopefully you can see those. It's kind of tough. I have my clamps a little bit different. I have one standard clamp, pull back, and the other one you have to unscrew, like the worm clamp or whatever they call them. So just slide those off. And hope it's not a huge mess down here. Awesome. I'm just gonna drain it down here, pull both these hoses off, and just hold them down. There we go. Hopefully there's not a ton of fluid in the cooler because this stuff is not cheap if I recall. And just like power steering, I'm gonna put a bag on these, zip tie it off, and then plug these two. All right, this is going by really quickly. I think this is even easier and faster than the Xterra was. So what I wanna do next is I want to, first of all, verify. I want to verify that the shop took every last bit of refrigerant out of my AC system, and you can do that by finding the low side of your AC system. There's a little service port here, and it's just like a Schrader bike valve. So I'm just gonna get a paper towel, wrap it around a screwdriver, and just tap this and make sure that it's empty. If you're not sure, tap very, very, very quickly. You don't want the stuff spraying in your face. So I'm just gonna do that, and then slide it over, just give it a little push. Hey, completely empty. That is awesome. So I know I can safely pull the lines from the condenser right here with taking the bolts off. We're gonna start with the left side. So where we just checked that low line, it's gonna be right near there. And that's probably a 12. Let's grab that. There we go. Yes, it is a 12. And then just, oh Christ. I'm actually bending that pipe. Whoopsie. Let me think on this. Channel locks maybe? There we go. Hopefully I don't do any lasting damage. Ah, yeah, that worked. Hell yeah. Longest bolts ever. It's because I'm excited to be done for the day. So the bolt's gonna take 3 times as long as it normally would. And now I'm probably, again, gonna have to support this other side. So let me get my hand in here and then to separate them. Let's see if I can just get a little tiny plastic, whatever you call it, scraper in there. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. I love these things. If you want to pry surfaces that you don't want to damage, this is great for that. All right, other side. All right, looks like the same exact story over here. It's just suspended by the hard lines. So hopefully I can get my doodads in here again. Looks like I can. There we go. Pull it out. Awesome. Disconnected. Just looking over this, it looks like there's 2 more things we need to accomplish. One is the hood latch system, and those are 2 12 millimeters. Make that 3, can't count. Just kind of unwind that and put it in the, I'm just gonna throw it in the wheel well. And then one that I forgot, I didn't realize that the windshield washer fluid reservoir is actually attached to the Rad Support. So there is, where is it? Right here, I think that's a 7, and there's a 7 down on the other side. And the other one is kind of down the side of it over here. All right, that looks like it's free. All right, so now we're gonna do that thing where I think I'm done, and we start the process, and then I forget 3 things. So from what I can see now, everything is clear. Looks like we should be able to pull. There is 1 screw in each wheel well cover that needs to come out. 3 bolts on each side holding the main, it's kind of the main bolts. And then up top, there's 2 on each side going into the, into the body, the inner fender. So of course, I'm gonna start by pulling these out of the wheel wells and then pulling the main ones off the bottom and then the top, and then hopefully it comes out. These should just be Phillips head screws, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, it is. There we go. I'm just gonna slide that back in. Bottom bolts are 12s. Now here's a bit of a problem I foresee. See these things here? These are attached to the frame and they go up pretty high. That means that I would have to take this entire thing and lift up over top of this. What is that? 6-ish inches? Well, one way to find out, right? Give it the old shakedown. Oh yeah. Well, this feels, oh, there it goes. I was about to say it feels real solid. Oh, that's not heavy at all. Is this, oh, it's freaking plastic. Well, that's why the entire thing, except for the top bar, is plastic. Wow, classy. Okay, well, should be a lot easier then. Let me do one last little round here and just kind of make sure that we're good. Yeah, I think we're clear to go. Now, where can I lift from? Like this. Cool, already getting caught on something. That did not take long. I do like how it kind of sits though. It kind of sits on its own. Oh, it's getting caught on the fan because we can't pull it forward. Is this a 2-piece fan shroud? Because if it is, we can just pull the bottom. Oh, heck yeah, it is. Push the tabs, there's 3 of them. I'll show you a picture. Slide it out, there we go. I'm gonna set my knee pad here, so once it's out, I can just immediately set it on something soft, right? Okay, let's try this again. What is pulling now? What is this? Oh, come on, Rye. One of the trans cooler lines is attached to a hard line, which is attached to the frame. This guy right here, this one should be most of the way empty, right? Or it should be fully empty, actually. So it shouldn't create a mess. There we go. But it's going to anyways. For the love of Pete. All right, gotta get another plug. There we go. Let's try it again. In case you haven't noticed, I am not following any directions for this. I'm just kind of looking at it and disconnecting everything I need to disconnect, if that wasn't entirely evident. All right, I think we're ready to rock now. Yep, there we go. All right. Oh, shit. What is that? Oh, just getting caught on that. Whoo! How bad did I? Oh! Whoops! The hell did I catch the radiator on? My bad. This one is without a doubt lighter than the Xterra was. We freaking crushed it today, boys. All right, so I'm going to plug the AC condenser lines back here, just so, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna be using them. I don't think I will, but in case someone wants it or, you know. And then same story with the radiator hoses. I'm not sure what we're gonna be using off this, but I can tell you it's probably not gonna be the radiator. But regardless, that's off, and that is a wrap for today. I'm not sure why, but this process was far simpler than on the Xterra. I am already seeing some issues, like for instance, this front bumper does not come off. It is welded into the frame, so that sucks. We're gonna have to get more creative or get more skill by the time we pull the engine out. I'm also realizing I did a pretty poor job at prepping this block before painting it because it looks like Not sure what I was thinking choosing white, but here we are. We have a very dirty, partially painted white engine. That's gonna be it, guys. What a ton of progress today. I'm feeling pretty happy. This phase sort of looks like it's just gonna sync up with the VQ40 removal series out of the Xterra. So next week we're gonna tackle disconnecting everything from the engine that connects to the rest of the truck. And then the week after that, we're gonna yank this sucker out. Then we're gonna go on a short break from the series. I'll find some other content for you guys, I promise. But once this is out, we're gonna have to ship the wiring harness away to someone. I hope it's Brennan. And then however long that process takes, we're gonna have to take a break and do other content. So in that time, we'll also order all of the other parts that we need. There's some stuff you need from a V8 Pathfinder. So we'll get that shipped here and ready to rock. And then once the wiring harness is here, we'll slap it all on and then throw that sucker into the Xterra. But that's it. Any questions you have, throw them down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to keep up with this project. And that's it, guys. Till next week.